First tonight at 5, pressing pause on a new plan now to impose new tariffs, which could lead to a massive trade war. Within just the last 15 minutes, Canada announced that President Trump's tariffs will now be postponed by at least 30 days. So the president had set a deadline for midnight when high-level tariffs were set to be imposed on products from Canada, China, and Mexico. The plan, though, is still in effect for China, but Canadian and Mexican leaders were both able to buy some time today by agreeing to boost border security efforts. So no word now on what is set to happen when the 30 days are up. But right now, our financial markets have been reacting all day. I mean, look at this. Amid fears of skyrocketing prices on many of the goods and services that we use every day. Queen City News anchor Derek Dellinger has now spent the day looking into the local impacts of the tariffs. And I have to let our viewers know, again, this is breaking news, Derek, just coming in the last 15 minutes. So I know that changed the game for you. You're live in West Charlotte, but you really today are talking about how this could impact the deals with food and also homes for us here in the Queen City.
Yes, and in fact, you have to keep in mind, breaking news there was a postponement in the tariffs, but a large part of the discussion today was about everything up until just a couple of minutes ago, about the fact, the idea that tariffs could be going into effect, and the fact that it could be affecting things like real estate and food prices. And we did make a point, though, from one economist. They did note today that even if these tariffs were to go into effect, it wouldn't be affecting things as much as people think.
Speculation at times can bring a lot of agitation, and it can affect things you eat and things you buy and what you'll ultimately live in. There's been a lot of talk about what the tariffs could mean to people, but in Charlotte, some of it is already being felt.
We have had one deal was put on pause today, just wanting to see kind of what shakes out with this. And then a lot of builder concern about, are they able to carve out exemptions for construction supplies?
Matt Stone is with Stone Realty Group, which has been involved in new home construction and real estate, both of which are impacted in one way or another by fluctuations. This, for them, is leading them and others to figure out what a 25% tariff on Canadian goods means here.
And if you don't know what your final costs are going to be, it's going to be really difficult to start pre-selling stuff when much of your input costs could be going up 25%.
Even though it may mean a jump in prices for various items, one economist at UNC Charlotte we spoke with noted that it may not be as severe as people are anticipating, given the political maneuvering and their belief that Canada needs access to the U.S. market.
The big mistake in all of this has been a number of people, both in this country, but also in Canada, to a lesser extent in Mexico, have viewed this as an economic issue. And at this point in time, this is not. This is political. And it is about international diplomacy.
Dr. John Connaughton is an economics professor at UNC Charlotte. He told us speculation has been a problem for many markets and consumers, and all this talk may not last very long.
They'll probably be rescinded within a week or two, because ultimately, at the end of the day, Canada will come around.
But for the moment, the agitation is still there, something that is still creating that uncertainty for the future.
If we kind of knew how all this was going to pan out, I think the market could plan for it. If this was like gradually being stepped into place, 5% a quarter or something, I think we can kind of see what the ramifications are.
Okay, and Derek, just for clarification here, so we've been reporting that the tariffs have been postponed right now for Canada, but if this does now go into effect, 25% doesn't mean that the prices will go up 25%, correct?
That is correct, Alicia. In fact, if these were to go into effect, the economist that we spoke with UNC Charlotte did make a point of noting that it would only be the portion that comes from Canada. You have to keep in mind only a rather small but significant amount comes from Canada in terms of the steel and lumber, but that would be the only thing that would be taxed. Alicia?
All right, Derek, thank you so much for reporting live and giving us more context and also clarification on all of this. Appreciate your reporting, Derek.